Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. This is Brother Yishmael with WFI Atlanta, coming back with another video. First and foremost, we must give all praises, honor, and glory unto the Heavenly Father, whose name is indeed Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world calls Jesus Christ. We know Him as Hamashiach Yahushua, the Lord and Savior to the nation of Israel. Lord willing, brothers and sisters are continuing to endure in this faith. They're clothing themselves with righteousness. You're praying, repenting, fasting, studying, doing all that you can to make your calling and election sure in these last days. Right. So today we're gonna jump into a video dealing with mainly centered around Luke, the 10th chapter, right, in the 19th verse. So we're gonna read that. Right, we're gonna break it down. Let's read Luke chapter 10, verse number 19. It's Luke 10 and 19. Behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. Right? So you got a lot of individuals, they read this verse, they're examining the words of our Lord and Savior, Hamashiach Yahushua, saying, well, what the hell is the Lord talking about? I don't get it. Right? He's giving us power to stomp on and step on serpents and scorpions, right? He's giving us power to step on bugs, right? It says, and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you, right? But let's read on line upon line, right, into the next verse, Luke chapter 10 and verse 20. Notwithstanding, in this rejoice not, that the spirits are subject unto you, right? But rather rejoice because your names are written in heaven. So the Lord, of course, as He always does, right, throughout the entire scriptures, using metaphors, similes, similitudes, etc., right, in order to get His point across, the Lord is using serpents and scorpions as a metaphor, right, in reference to evil and wicked spirits, because serpents are things that are subtle. Right, that's the characteristics and the nature of the serpent, right? While the scorpion is something or a creature that is going to sting you, right? You're going to feel substantial pain, right? And it's also a creature that is going to kill you slowly through its venom, through its poison. So the Lord again is using the characteristics of both a serpent and a scorpion and comparing them to these spirits which have the power, right, to be to creep up on you subtly, right, and kill you slowly through the spirit, in reference to the scorpion. And the Lord told the disciples not to rejoice that the spirits are subject unto you, right? That's what it means when the Lord said, I will give unto you power to tread on serpents. Whenever you tread upon something, right, it's under your feet, right? It's beneath you, right? You have power over it. And that's exactly what the Lord is saying, right? Rejoice not that the spirits are subject unto you. Don't rejoice because you have power over the spirits, right? But rather rejoice because your names are written in heaven, right? So the whole point of the matter, I'm going to read Luke 10 and 19 again. Behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. Right? The whole point of the matter is to exhort you, brothers and sisters, to understand that through the power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, you have, again, that same power, that same force, right? That same ability to tread or to stop and put demons underneath your feet, man. Right? And to utterly destroy them through the Spirit of the Lord. Right? Brothers and sisters have to understand that when you come into this truth, man, right, it's okay, yeah, the wisdom, knowledge, just understanding. Okay, yeah, you found out that the fourth tribe, and all praises to the Most High. We're the chosen people, and Esau is the devil. Yeah, all that's cool, right? But why don't we talk about this power that comes with this truth, man? The power to cast out spirits, the power to exorcise demons. Right? Let's go to the book of Matthew. Right, let's go to Matthew, the 8th chapter. This Matthew chapter 8 and verse 9. It reads, "For I am a man under authority, having soldiers under me. And I say to this man, go, and he goeth, and to another, come, and he cometh, and to my servant, do this, and he doeth it." Now, this can be applied on a twofold level, prescribing to Job chapter 11 and verse 6. "For the secrets of wisdom are double to that which is." So the Lord said, hey, you're a man of authority, right? You say to this spirit, go, hey, and he goeth. You said unto another, come, and he cometh, right? You tell these spirits, man, to get the hell up off of you. If they know you, and if you're truly moving in the spirit of the Lord, right, these things will flee from you, right? Because as brothers and sisters know, right, we're not wrestling against flesh and blood, man. Let's get that classic real quick in Ephesians 6. Right? It's Ephesians chapter 6 and verse number 11. The Lord said, "Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye be not able, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities," right? "Against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." These are the type of things that we wrestle against. You are wrestling and fighting, right, in an ongoing war, right? The conditions of the battle against spiritual wickedness, man. Right? So when you go into battle, man, you gotta have your combat boots. You gotta have your protection. You gotta have your weapon in this thing. And that's mainly what Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 10 and on down is going into, the armor of the Most High, right? But again, all coming back to Luke chapter 10 and 19, when the Lord said, playing upon tables, that you have power to tread on serpents. You have power to stomp upon scorpions. And again, these things are being used as a reference to none else but evil, wicked spirits, which we just read in Ephesians 6 and 12. These are the things that we wrestle against, right? So let's keep that in mind. Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 10. Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse number 3. It reads, "For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh." That's plain. The Lord said plainly, we do not wrestle, we do not war after the flesh. Brothers and sisters walk in the flesh too damn much, man. You're always thinking carnally, right? The Lord said we don't walk after the flesh. We don't war after the flesh. "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal." Right? So your weapons are not going to be carnal against spiritual wickedness. How can it be? All right? You cannot expect physical weapons to take down spiritual powers, man. It will not happen. To combat spiritual wickedness, you need spiritual power, spiritual righteousness. To combat those things which may be carnal, then of course you will match it with the similar force. Right? You will match it with carnal, materials as well. So the Lord said your weapons or your warfare, they shouldn't be carnal. Right? It reads, "Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of the Most High, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of a Mashiach." Right? So that's playing within itself. Right? But again, the whole point and the whole matter is, brothers and sisters, we have to equip ourselves with the proper gear, with the proper weaponry, right, in order to go into battle with spiritual wickedness. And not only should we be equipping ourselves with such things, we should be firm and confident and steadfast in the power that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua has given unto us to put these serpents and put these devils and put these spirits up under our feet, and to eventually utterly destroy them. We have to be confident in such things, right? You had men in the scriptures Let's go to Acts, the 19th chapter. All right, you have men in the scriptures that tried, and these spirits, they mocked them, man. Now, either you gonna be the brother that gets mocked, or you gonna be the brother that's doing the destroying. All right, let's get this precept. It's Acts 19 and 13. Then certain of the vagabond Jews, exorcists, took upon them to call over them which had evil spirits the name of the Lord Yahushua, saying, we adjure you by Yahushua whom Paul preacheth. So you had these men, hey, they took it upon themselves to cast out evil spirits in the name of the Lord. That may be you, man. Here you going out on a limb. You don't got no spiritual weaponry. You don't got no armor of the Most High. You don't got none of these things. You entering into the battlefield naked. Right? Bare. All right, let's read on. Let's see what happened to these men. Verse 14. And there were 7 sons of one Sceva, a Jew, and chief of the priests, which did so. And the evil spirit answered and said, Yahushua I know, and Paul I know, but who are ye? You see that? That's what these spirits is saying to you, men. That's what these spirits is saying to you, sisters. You're trying to get off the spirit of jealousy, but it just won't go away. That spirit of jealousy is saying, yeah, I know this, brother. Yeah, I know this, sister. They did away with me quickly. But you, I don't know you. Right? You, I'm not too familiar with you. Your power, your name really doesn't hold weight. Notice that these 2 men that this spirit knew, these 2 men, these men, they hold weight. These 2 men are renowned. Yahushua HaMashiach, the Lord and Savior to the nation of Israel. Paul, right, an apostle that labor more abundantly than them all. So you got to understand, man, your name got to hold weight in the sight of these spirits. That's why we went to Matthew chapter 8 and verse 9. You got to be able to tell these spirits to go, and they get up out of there, man. Right? You got to be able to command the spirit of love, command the spirit of patience, command the spirit of long suffering to come forth unto you. And guess what? That spirit comes unto you, man. You must be able to strengthen yourself, right? Through the scriptures, through the word, through much prayer and fasting, through sincerity and purity, right? Not just vainglory, right? Leaning unto your own understanding as these men did. Right, as it says, they took it upon them. They didn't even have to do this. Right? And we see, hey, that these evil spirits, man, hey, guess what? They didn't respond too nicely to that. They said, hey, man, who is you? Who are you that you should think you can cast us out from what it is that we got going on? Evil spirits, man, they run to and fro throughout the earth, seeking whom they can devour. That's all. Right? So you got to understand, man, when it comes down to these spirits, you can't be that brother or sister that is moving in a spirit of weakness, man. You can't be that brother or sister that is weak in this thing. You got no faith, but you trying to cast out spirits. Right? You got no diligence, but you trying to get the damn lust demon up off of you. Right? You got no power, right, and authority given unto you from Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, yet you want to be able to love your brothers and not have an evil eye towards them no more. You got to up your spiritual power. How do you do so? Via the scripts. How do you do so? Reading all the accounts of our forefathers and how they dealt with these things. How else do you do so? By being patient through the spirit. You can't be so hasty. How else do you do so? By having confidence in your God. Having confidence in Hamashiach Yahushua. Having confidence in these things, man. You doubt too much. You fear too much. Right? And let's see what happens to men and women that fear too much. Acts 19:16. And the man in whom the evil spirit was leaped on them and overcame them and prevailed against them, so that they fled out of that house naked and wounded. You see that? Some of you brothers and sisters, man, try to cast out these spirits, and they overcome you, they overpower you 10 times worse. They whoop you up, they break you down, now you're wounded and naked, man. That's what the Lord said. That's what happened unto these men. Let's get another precept on that. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon. All right, let's go to Wisdom of Solomon. I believe, Salakia, I believe the 17th chapter. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17. All right, Khan. Let's read this. It's Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17 and verse number 8. For they that promise to drive away terrors and troubles from a sick soul were sick themselves of fear, worthy to be laughed at. You see that? These spirits laugh at you, man. You got some brothers, I promise I'm going to put this spirit, I'm done dealing with this. But you're sick with fear. You truly don't want to get rid of that spirit. You truly don't have that vehement desire to conquer, that principality that is overtaking your vessel. And as a result, the Lord said, man, you're worthy to be laughed at. For they that promise to drive away terrors and troubles from a sick soul were sick themselves of fear, worthy to be laughed at, man. Right? So brothers and sisters, we can't be worthy to be laughed at by the spiritual demon Satan, right? In the spirit of lust, the spirit of envy, of jealousy, of hatred, of hastiness, of foolishness. We can't be laughed at by these spirits. I was telling brothers and sisters, several days ago, man, we have to get competitive with Satan, man. And not competitive to the point where, we're just trying to win a game. Nah, we're talking about our life is at stake. We're talking about salvation that's at stake. We're talking about the kingdom of heaven that is at stake. This is a different type of competition. This is a different type of game. This is a different type of match when you step in the ring with spiritual wickedness. You must understand that these spirits are not your friend. These spirits do not want to see you receive a crown upon your head, nor a long, glorious white robe. These spirits, man, they're not for you. And as brothers and sisters in our Mashiach Yahushua, we have to understand this. We got to come to grips with this. We have to take up the power that the Lord gave unto us, being the saints, right? His disciples through the Spirit, to tread upon serpents as well as the scorpions. And we cannot be consumed with fear while doing so, or else we will be worthy to be laughed at. Right? Let's go to the book of Mark. Let's go to Mark, the 3rd chapter. Let's go to Mark chapter 3 and verse number 27. This Mark chapter 3 and verse number 27. It reads, and this is a Mashiach Yahushua speaking. All right. You have people calling the Lord Satan, right? And that he's casting out Satan in the name of Satan. Healing folks in the name of Satan. Let's read up to get the context. Right? Let's read up. Right? It's Mark 3 and 22. And the scribes which came down from Jerusalem said, he hath Beelzebub, and by the prince of the devils casteth he out devils. So, you had the Pharisees, the scribes, saying, from the power of the prince of the devils, right? That's how he's able to cast out devils. Hamashiach says, and he called unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end. No man, this is the point, no man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house. Now, this is on the twofold level. Right? We're going to break this down on a twofold level. Now, on one fold, the strong man's house, right? This is in reference to this earth that we're in, this world that we're in, right? Because as brothers and sisters know, let's go to Job chapter 9. Let's get the classic. Let's get the classic. All right, this Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? Now, a lot of times we may use this verse in reference to the so-called white man. A lot of times we may use this verse in reference to the nations that have had the Israelites in bondage and slavery, right? But on a spiritual sense, the earth is actually given into the hand of the wicked. Sin is prevalent here. Wickedness is prevalent here, right? Iniquity is abounding on a day-to-day basis. All right? So we got to understand that, again, when we go back to Mark chapter 3, the strong man's house, right? This is talking about Satan's house, right? This is Satan's house, right? Let's go to the book of Colossians. Let's go to Colossians real quick. Let's go to Colossians chapter 2 and verse number 15. Let's talk about Hamashiach Yahushua. And having spoiled principalities and powers, he made a shoe of them openly, triumphing over them in it. And this is something that we all got to strive to do. Hamashiach Yahushua, he triumphed over Satan. He triumphed over sin. He triumphed over temptation. He spoiled principalities, and us as his disciples, right, looking to the example of Hamashiach Yahushua, we have to strive to do the exact same things. We have to strive to spoil principalities. We have to strive to cast down spiritual wickedness and spiritual powers. All right? And he said he made a fair shoe of them openly. He made a shoe of them openly, man. It wasn't, it wasn't a secret. The Lord, he defeated temptation, even though he was in a fleshly body. It reads, triumphing over them in it, right? So when we go back to Mark chapter 3, right, using this same line of consciousness, Mark 3 and 27, no man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods. Now again, we know that the strong man's house, right, is in reference to this earth, and the strong man in this reference is being used as Satan, right? Satan is the strong man, right? In this earth, this world is his house, right? Now let's go to the book of let's go to John. All right, let's go to John, the 16th chapter. It's John chapter 16 and verse number 28. It's the words of a Mashiach. He says, I came forth from the Father and am come into the world. You see that? The Lord came forth from the Father and came into the world. So let's go back to the book of Mark. No man can enter into a strong man's house. So no man can enter a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man. So simply what it's saying, right, on a carnal level, right, if you wanted to rob somebody, or if somebody was to come forth and rob you, right, nobody's just gonna be able to walk in your house and take all your stuff, right, while you're sitting there watching them and all is well. Nah, man, if you truly want to rob that person, they gonna go in your house, tie you up, probably put the duct tape around your mouth, right? Put your hands behind your back, tie your feet together. They gonna bind you up so that you cannot resist, so that you cannot spoil their attempts at the robbery, right? Of the defeat. That's what it's saying when it says no man can enter a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man. In order to complete that robbery and get away with it, you have to bind the strong man of that house. And then he will spoil his house. So once you have that man tied up, once you know that the biggest threat is out of the way, then you can go forth to spoil his house. And this is exactly what Hamashiach Yahushua did. He was sent forth into the world. He was sent forth into the strong man's house. He was sent forth into this world that is filled with sin and iniquity and ran by the strong man, being the spiritual demon Satan. He binded the spiritual demon Satan. How did he do so? By defeating all temptation, by being within the flesh, right, and rebuking Hashatan or Satan, huh? That's how the Lord binded the strong man while he was within his house, and then he will spoil his house, right? And that's exactly what the Lord did. Let's go back to Colossians chapter 2, right? And having spoiled principalities and powers, he made a shoot of them openly, triumphing over them in it, right? So again, this is exactly what we got to do through the Spirit. We have to come into the strong. Hey, we're already within the strong man's house, and we got to bind the strong man. Now, you can't do that off your own free will. You can't do that just because you want to do it. You got to use the power, right, and the force given unto you. Let's go back to Luke chapter 10. You got to use these things that were given unto you from Hamashiach Yahushua to tread upon these serpents. Luke chapter 10 and 19, behold, I give unto you power. Right? What's this word power in the Greek? Right, let's get into it. All right, let this load up. All right, Salakia. Let's get into this word power in the Greek.
Strong's G, 1849, exousia. Exousia.
All right, exousia. Right, and let's see what this word means. All right. Physical or mental power. Right? The ability or strength with which one is endued, which he either possesses or exercises. The power of authority, influence, and right of privilege. Brothers, are you moving in the power of authority when it comes to these spiritual demons? Sisters, are you moving with privilege that these spirits shouldn't even think to come close unto you? Right? This is the type of power that the Lord gave unto us. He gave unto us authority over these spirits to be able to direct these things, to be able to cast these things out, to be able to exorcise demons. Right? One who possesses authority. A ruler. You see that? A ruler. You know? And that's exactly what that power is going into, man. So when the Lord said that he gave unto us that power, that wasn't for brothers and sisters to damn drop their head down. That was for you to rule over these spirits, right, with a mighty arm, not second guessing, not doubting, not fearful, not built up with anxiety, right? You're supposed to go forth and cast out Satan. That's what you're supposed to do. All right? Let's go to the book of Hebrews. It's Hebrews chapter 2 and verse number 14. For as much then as the children are partakers of flesh and blood, he also himself, talking about Hamashiach, likewise took part of the same, that through death he might destroy him that had the power of death, that is the devil. Right? So again, as we have said in Mark the 3rd chapter, Colossians chapter 2, right? The Lord, he binded the strong man. The Lord, he spoiled principalities. These are the things that Hamashiach Yahushua did. He destroyed him that had power over death. How? Because Hamashiach overcame death. He was risen the third day. Right? Verse 15. And deliver them who through fear of death were all their life subject to bondage. Right? And we're those individuals that all our lifetime are subject to bondage. Right? That's us. Right? We're the ones that fear death daily. And if you don't believe me, read Sirach the 40th chapter. We're the ones that are trapped within bodies that are subject unto vanity. Romans chapter 8 and verse 20. Right? And deliver them who through fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage. So the Lord was placed within the same body that you're placed in, conquered evil, conquered sin, conquered temptation, conquered death, just to deliver you from the fear that you could possibly have right now at this given moment, or from the fear that you probably previously had, right, of death, which you are subject to, man, within these bodies. Right? Read Sirach chapter 14 and verse 17. It reads verse 16, for verily he took not on him the nature of angels, but he took on him the seed of Abraham, meaning he came as a man, right? The seed of Abraham from a man and a woman. Verse 17, wherefore in all things it behooved him to be made like unto his brethren, that he might be a merciful and faithful high priest in things pertaining to the Most High, to make reconciliation for the sins of the people. Check this out. For in that he himself have suffered being tempted. I'm going to read that again. For in that he himself have suffered being tempted, he is able to succor them that are tempted. You see that? So Hamashiach Yahushua, he's your reason of confidence. The Lord was tempted. Right? The Lord has sin at his doorstep. And time after time after time again, right, guess what he did? He denied it. Time after time after time again, guess what he did? He conquered it. So Hamashiach Yahushua, he's that confidence for us, man. Not only did he give us the power to tread upon these things, but he's also letting you know, man, just look at me. I can do it. I've given you the power to do it also. Have faith in me. Trust in me. That's what the Lord is saying. He is able to succor them that are tempted. Because we're tempted every day. We go off every single day, man. So again, right, I just wanted to exhort brothers and sisters to truly meditate on the power that the Lord has given you as an Israelite. You have power over these spirits, brothers and sisters. Right? Powers to tread upon serpents. Powers to tread upon scorpions. Power, right, to conquer death. The same way Hamashiach Yahushua did, man. Right? So Lord willing, that was edifying. Lord willing, brothers and sisters, continue to endure. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Kwam Yasha Allah, and Shalom.